Hello, my name is Blake Sullivan, and I'm a freshman at Antioch High School, and this is the reflection upon 2018 Modern Marvels. So, first off, I believe our project went very smoothly and that we were very successful. Now, when I went to go choose my group members, I had went off who I'd worked with before and who I was successful with. Now, I was only worked with two different people, and that would be Justin Barrar and Riley Allison. I was very successful with both of them, so I knew that they had to be in my group. Now, Johan, I had known him since 6th grade. We went to middle school together. I knew he was a very efficient student and that he would get his work done. So I knew that if we had to add a third or a fourth person, that he would be a good candidate. So the process I will explain further into the video. When we had the research paper, we had to break it down into 3 parts. So we had chosen, first we had sat down and we had said, alright, what do we all have in common? We all had what we all had in common was soccer. I'd played soccer for 10 years. Justin had played for 10 years. Riley had played for 4 years. So, and I'm not quite sure upon Johan if he ever played or not, but I knew that he was into it. So, we knew that we should do a soccer stadium. Now, when looking upon the requirement sheet, it had to be between a certain date and now. So, we had to choose a fairly new stadium, which brought us to Allianz Arena. Now, we had known about it because Bayern Munich, the team that plays there, is a very, very powerhouse team. So we had already known about them and their stadium. And Mr. Matthews had been to Germany several times. So we knew that he would have some background knowledge, not just upon the stadium per se, but about Germany in general. So that way we'd be able to have background knowledge upon the game, the atmosphere, and the stadium. So then we move on to what work was done where. Now, most of the work was done at school just so communication could be at its highest, if you will. But when we needed to do stuff at home, such as gather materials, catch up on some work, try and do a little extra work just to get ahead and try and reduce the stress level on everybody. Because if there's less stress, then we're going to be more efficient, obviously. So what we had done was some of the construction was done at home. A lot of digital things were done at home, uploading, creating of the slideshow. Not so much creating the slideshow, I would say, more editing the slideshow, adding a little bit of touches. So we had come up with the model ideas at school during Mr. Matthews and Mr. Ebner's class, because we had all had at least one class together. So we knew that that would also be a good decision when choosing our teammates when we had a lot of classes in common. So if we could do most of the work at school, it'd be a lot easier because we would have resources: A, Mr. Matthews; B, Mr. Ebner; and C, materials. So that could be a lot smoother. We wouldn't have to pay for as many things, and that would help us a lot. So now to move on is the slideshow, which in the essay we had to do 2 paragraphs on because there was that much information upon the slideshow. Now, 8.3, I believe, seconds is what Mr. Ebner reminded us of, which is the average time span for a human being. So we tried to keep our slideshow rolling the best we could to try and entertain, not only entertain, but to inform clearly of our modern Marvel. So that our slideshow was, I believe, 37 slides, and some of them were transition slides, video slides, and whatnot. So now, gather my thoughts. Okay, so the slideshow. Johan and I were very good at slideshows. He showed me what he had done in the past. Now for me, this is my first year ever doing a slideshow. Never had to do it before, even though I took an engineering class back in 8th grade. Wasn't a key component. But then it started with the second sign-off sheet where me and Riley had to make a slideshow about each other. So I took great responsibility upon that. And from then on out, slideshows had been the easiest part of the project for me. So I think that helped a lot. So Justin and Riley weren't too big on slideshows before. They knew how to do it. They knew how to do it to an average or decent state. But I knew that if I had a hand in it and Johan had a hand in it, we were both very confident and that we could get it done, not just efficiently, but in a good manner. Now, we wanted to see our slideshow pop out. We didn't want to be boring, because the last thing you want is to be up there on stage in front of everybody, which wasn't that big of a deal for us. I made sure to stress that as a project manager, that we can't be nervous up there. If you're nervous, it shows. Everybody knows, the audience, the judges, everybody watching the video can see that you're a nervous wreck. So we had to make sure that we were calm, collected, and we were ready to knock it out. So we wanted to be definitely entertaining. Losing attention sucks. I mean, I once watched a presentation where I looked around and the audience was looking around, fidgeting, just looking at the clock, seeing when they can get out of there. So, and that's definitely not what we wanted to do. And by having experience with the software and presentations in general, I believe that we were able to do that in a timely manner. To move on, we had 4 judges, which was a little less than everybody else, but you know, you can't worry upon the little things like that. If you did, you'd be stressed out every second of your life. So we were asked all of 2 questions, and I quote from the video. It was Karan Stones, and he asked us, "How long did it take to make your final model?" We had responded with, it had taken about a couple of days. And then the second question was, how many panels were on the exterior of the stadium? And we had answered that. And then 2 gentlemen came up and asked us and a couple of questions, just like personal questions. And then he said that they liked our presentation, they loved the way we brought it forward. And then I would say our eye contact was pretty good. I'd say our composure was great. Our volume was very effective. I know that Mr. Flossie and Mr. Matthews could definitely hear us in the back because they had specifically told us. And then I have no issue, and I don't think the rest of our teammates do, speaking in front of that many people. I feel like, and I quote from our teammates, the amount of people, that was light work. And then we were saying to ourselves, if we could present in front of an entire BD auditorium, and it would be almost no different. And then, yeah, that's about it for the presentation. I mean, the video showed that we went very smoothly, and that we presented everything pretty good. So, to sum up everything, freshman year, I'd say it went almost exactly as planned. I wish I could have done a little better in earth science, and I wish I had a girlfriend. Straight up. I mean, yeah, but other than that, I was very successful in my desired field, which was engineering, as I plan to be one in the future. I feel like I established a very positive image for myself, as Mr. Matthews has said, that being good people skills is pretty much the most important part. Now, the grade is very important as well, but you only get one shot at people skills. And as for the advice, I would say, 1, procrastination. Never ever do it. It will not impact you in a positive way at all. 2, don't get caught up in what irrelevant people think of you. I mean, if somebody's telling you that you're not good enough, you know what they are? Probably irrelevant. And 3rd, don't make yourself hated. Don't make yourself have a negative image. Never pans out good for you. And this has been my reflection. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.